Jubilee, we have Chairperson Angela Madden and Board Treasurer Jacque Austin.
Good morning.
Hi, superstars.
I don't know about that.
Well, thank you for making our beautiful city even more magnificent for a good week or so, it seemed like.
About 10 days. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was great.
So give us a recap. How, now that you've had a minute to take a deep breath and reflect, what were some of the highlights?
I love the numbers we got this year. So we got 6 out of 8 flights for the Women's Nationals. We got 5 out of 8 inflations for the Jubilee.
Nice.
And then we think we had about 20,000 people.
Nice.
So it was great this year to see everybody coming out and enjoying it. And being able to get so many balloons in the air was amazing.
Well, I would like to know the numbers on how many social media posts from people in other parts of the county that just saw balloons and posted these beautiful views.
You know, that was absolutely amazing. It's funny because I do tend to watch the insights on our social, right? So, you know, leading up to the event, leading up to Women's Nationals, it was a little static, not much engagement. And as soon as we saw that first balloon in the air Saturday morning, it went through the roof.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just really exciting and fun to watch the community. We were also able to touch so many different areas of Jackson County thanks to having the women's competitors in town.
Yes.
and kind of moving their competition locations around the county as well. So.
Competition. So what does that mean? And did somebody win?
Yes.
Okay, tell me about that.
Yeah, so Amanda Broadback is our new U.S. national champion,
Nice.
Women's national champion. So she was crowned. Unfortunately, we didn't get our last flight off, but so Thursday nights scores carried over. But in order to compete, the women are given target locations, typically through a GPS location, and their job is to fly to it, to navigate to it, and to utilize their skills as pilots to use the winds, the different directions at different altitudes, and to get there. And then they have one of two options. If it's a physical target on the ground, they have a baggie, an 8-ounce baggie with a 3-foot tail on it. They have to throw that baggie closest to the center of the X.
Okay.
If not, it's a virtual marker. So they say, I'm going to fly to this intersection, and I'm going to click a button on my GPS when I get there.
Wow.
Closest person to that designated target gets the most points again.
So is it timed, or is it most accurate, or?
It's a little bit of both.
Okay.
So the targets usually have closing times associated with them, meaning they have to get their equipment set up, get in the air and fly to that target before the target closes.
Got it.
And then continue on. You know, there's usually multiple targets per day.
Okay.
So it was kind of hard to follow. It was because, there wasn't a mass launch, there wasn't anywhere where they were all landing at. People knew ahead of time, so you kind of had to just keep your eyes to the sky to really see what was.
Yeah. We tried to give everybody on the social media an idea of where to at least look, what direction to look in. But honestly, with the competition, we don't know where they're going to be flying. The way it works is the competition directors, starting at 3 or 4 in the morning, are figuring out where the winds are coming from, figuring out where those targets are going to lay out.
Makes sense.
5 o'clock, they're telling people, telling the pilots and the scoring teams where to go, and then by 6 o'clock they're in the air.
Okay.
So we don't know.
Are they coming back?
They are coming back.
Yay!
Yes, they are
So
coming
excited.
back. The women were wonderful competitors. They really enjoyed. Jackson did us proud. They were so excited. The women are so excited to come back. They had a great flying experience while they were here. The residents, the landowners, the local businesses really treated them like, the professional pilots that they are, and, the queens that they are in the air. So it's going to be great to have them back.
How many pilots were there?
So we had 15 pilots flying in 2023. We are already looking at expanding the field because of the popularity of the event.
Why don't you do it? You could be in the women's championship.
Maybe I will. I don't know that I could hone that skill well enough to compete between now.
We're trying to get Angela to compete.
Between now and then. Are you a pilot?
I am. Yeah.
Serious?
Yeah.
You have to do it.
We'll see. It's a lot of work on the ground too.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
yeah.
Well, you shared something with us. You guys have a lot of responsibility. You work on this all year. I stalked Jacque on social media, and I watched her travel across the country to really learn more and be prepared to have the best benefit or event possible. You guys are volunteers.
Correct.
There's no paid staff.
That's
No paid
correct.
staff.
You mentioned that 20,000 people came to town to visit that. So the economic impact for the
huge.
community was huge. And you
Yes.
guys are doing this For the love of the sport?
Love of the sport, exactly.
And the love of the community, honestly, right?
Now, you just announced last week some new people, some changes on the board.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've added 3 new board members, so we're really excited. These are all longtime volunteers with the organization, and it's going to be great to really get their input kind of in that more honed in space with the board of directors. So joining us, Ashley Fall, who was involved in the Jubilee before, and she took some time off and is now back. Megan Smith and Nicole Segal are all joining us on the board. So it'll be great to have their input now moving forward for 2024.
Which sequel?
Nicole.
Nicole, because
We
Chad's
know a lot.
been part of it.
Chad and David both have been involved. Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Chad and David, they took me on my first hot air balloon rides.
Oh, where'd you go?
Straight up.
Straight down.
One time, it was straight up. We were at the Napoleon Airport. There was no wind. We went up, sat there for an hour, did not move, and came right
Oh
back.
my gosh.
For the crew, that's the best type of flight.
For the pilot,
That's
that's
have to move.
For the pilot, that's the worst flight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what feedback do you have for the community, or how can the community better support the event and help you guys prepare for next year?
I think we had so much great support this year. We put out a call for possible target locations. How many? I mean, we got so many submissions.
Yeah.
And there's specific parameters that we were looking for, and we got so many great options. We had this really long list we could give to the national competitor or the national directors to say, okay, pick any of these, and that was amazing. So we'd love to see that again. Obviously, financial support is always huge. Our sponsorships, our budget, having the women's, our budget doubles.
Yeah.
So bringing in those sponsorships, and we had some major sponsors step up and really help us out this year.
Nice.
So we love that. And then we're always looking for volunteers. I mean, it's a tough volunteer crew, because if you're on crew, you have to be up at like 4 a.m. and getting out and all that kind of fun stuff.
Not just balloons. You had all kinds of things going on at the park.
did,
Some added features this year.
Yeah, we added inflatables this year, which was great for the kids. So we try to have a really good variety of free activities and then vendors you can support as well. And this year we added the inflatables thanks to some really great sponsors. We were able to make those free to the community.
Nice.
We also added a Jeep show Friday night,
yes.
so we doubled the size of the car show, which was phenomenal. So for
wow.
Jeep enthusiasts out there, they were able to come out and show off their Jeeps on Friday. So.
Yeah.
Oh, so cool.
It's really fun, and I feel like the event, we've taken the last few years to kind of fine tune it and really focus on the balloons, and so now we're able to add in some of these extra little fun things that we can have for the community while they're waiting for the balloons to go up.
Look at all those vendors
I know.
and food trucks.
Yep.
I mean, it's a whole day.
It's not quite a whole day.
yeah.
We open the park at 3. We do want to make sure that focus stays right on, the balloons themselves, right? And flight windows usually are between 6:30, 7:30.
Okay.
Sometime, about an hour and a half to 2 hours before sunset.
Okay.
Is our best experience. So.
You got some good weather too.
Knock
this
on
year.
wood.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah, the weather has been phenomenal for the last 2 years, and we couldn't have asked. In 22, we got 5 out of 8 inflations last year. 23, we also got 5 out of 8 inflations. So we couldn't have asked for better weather, 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
So especially after a long string of bad weather preceding
Yes.
these last 2.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate you guys continuing the effort, because I'm sure you get some bad weather and the event's not what you want it to be. It's probably frustrating to
Well, I think
look ahead.
I think the community is great at understanding. We try to do a lot of education. Angela's on the Facebook all the time doing videos about here's why we're making the decisions we're making. And that has helped a lot. The community has been great. They still come out. We had some rain during Saturday's event this year, and I was just sitting there watching all these people just hanging out in the rain, waiting to see if the balloons would go up.
Yeah.
So.
And the pilots want to fly too, right?
Yeah.
They don't want to
Yeah.
sit there with their equipment packed away in their trucks. So we do everything that we can.
Okay.
Well, thanks for the great job you and all your volunteers and sponsors and pilots and crew did this year.
Well, we also, not only do we have the dates for next year, so July 19, 20, 21, I believe, with the Women's Nationals preceding that, so July 15th through 20, but also very excitingly are able to announce that Trips Auto and Collision has signed on to continue to be our title sponsor for the next several years.
Very
So
nice.
yeah, really excited about that. They're a wonderful community partner for us.
Wonderful.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Thanks for coming in.
Appreciate it.
Jackie Austin, Angela Madden with the Hot Air Jubilee. More of the morning show after this.